This is Todd from the Reason Files. I'm on a line with Jake Strickland. Jake, with the current situation with the new IFB, if this had been any other family, what do you think Steven Anderson's reaction would have been if someone else's kids would have been making these text messages?
Yeah, if Pastor Anderson's family, if his children were not involved, then those families would have been, accused of some of the worst type of things, and they would have been speculated against and ran out of the church on a rail. They probably would have had an entire sermon preached against them, and then that would just be the start of it all. And then there would be memes attacking that person or that family, and it would just be bad. It would go from bad to worse, and then all the new IFB minions would start coming out of the woods, and it would just get very vicious very fast. And since Pastor Anderson's teenage sons are involved, then it's all kind of trying to be swept under the rug, in my opinion. Definitely a double standard, and it's just I've seen over the years. I've been following the new IFB since about 2012, and I've seen good families kicked out for a lot worse over the years, and even I remember, I think their name was the Bergs. I think the Berg family had some kind of I don't really remember the situation, but I remember they were accused of something of like a sexual nature. Maybe there was some kind of, I don't know, something going on within their family. I don't really know. We only get one side of the story most of the time, and it's always Pastor Anderson's side. So I think the Bergs made a rebuttal video, but, at the time when all that was going down, I was still very deep in the movement, drinking the Kool-Aid. I didn't even give the Bergs, I didn't give them the time of day to hear them out. So I kind of just took Pastor Anderson's narrative and ran with it and didn't question it at the time. But, after everything shook out with our church at Law of Liberty and with Pastor Fannin, back then Brother Fannin getting railroaded, and being able to see exactly how this movement works and the people that are inside of it, and I'm guilty of being a part of it back in the past, and but after I went through what we all went through at our church and seeing how it is now, it's easy to see in hindsight how the people in the movement are very cultish, and just how they conduct themselves. They do not practice what they preach. So
right.
They need to go back and listen to the Sermon on the Mount a few more times. Read Matthew 5 and 6 and 7.
Do you feel that Ben the Baptist stabbed everyone in the back during that 5-hour meeting?
No doubt about it. And in fact, I told him specifically, and it was Brother Fannin and me and Ben, and this was, it was a 5-hour long marathon discussion. More, it was like it got really heated several times, and everybody's, blood rushed to their heads, and you could tell there was just a lot of tension in the room. But several times throughout that night, people would just kind of stand up and have to walk around the room and stretch their legs some, and we were still kind of talking amongst ourselves, and everybody else was kind of broken up into a few different groups, and they were kind of all hashing it out. And I remember it was the three of us. It was Brother Fannin, Ben, and myself, and Ben was just, he was just totally adamant about Brother Fannin getting out of the way and stepping down, and just accepting Shelley, no questions asked and everything. And the majority of the church did not see it that way, including myself. And I told Ben to his face, I said, Ben, you were going to stab Brother Fannin in the back. You were going to go make a video about him. You're going to drag his name through the mud. And I told him this, and Brother Fannin was right there. And he said, and this is exactly what Ben said. He says, I would never do that. I would never, ever try to, discredit Brother Fannin or whatever and something like that. He just said, I would never, ever stab him in like 12 hours.
Unfortunately, at this point, Reason Files was having technical difficulties. Jake went on to say 12 hours later, Ben was in the studio making videos against Adam Fannin. Also, Jake Strickland related it was a bad idea and poor judgment on the part of Ben and friends to go into the casinos. And they had ill intent, and they were desperately wanting tangible proof that Fannin was the bad guy. And to this day, they're still waiting for the evidence. Reason Files out.